listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Bravo!
My compliments, little lady.
Commercial!
Break for 30 seconds.
You are now listening to BaaD Radio.
Hello and welcome to BaaD Radio. BaaD stands for Business at a Distance. This is a show about local businesses and business networking. We are here in the News Radio WFLA Orlando studio for a full 2 hours from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I am your host, Angela Smarito, and in the studio with me we have our producer, Melissa Fox.
Hey.
And next to me, we have our other Melissa Jacob with Striking Brand.
How did I become the other Melissa so fast?
Oh, my God.
Dang.
Oh, I can switch it around.
No, it's okay.
Melissa is with Striking Brand, and Striking Brand has been doing all of our BaaD Radio videos for a long time now. So if you go to strikingbrand.com, you can actually see all of those. BaaDradio.com, you can see all of those. But if you go to strikingbrand.com, you can see all of Melissa's other work, because she is a videographer as well as a photographer. All right, so you know what? I'm going to introduce our first guest today. Unfortunately, Renee Gonzalez with Right Choice Adult Daycare wasn't able to make it in studio today because she has to be back at a hard 1:30. So we have Renee on the phone. How are you, Renee?
I am doing great. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you for joining us today. Just real quick, let everybody know a little bit about what the Right Choice is. I like the fact that it actually says it in the title of it, Adult Daycare, but I know there's a lot more to it than that.
Oh, okay. So the Adult Day Center, we provide service for seniors. And actually, it could be anyone 18 and older. It doesn't have to necessarily be a senior.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes, we also can help them with different services as they are going through their journey with either Alzheimer's, dementia, or any other type of diagnosis that keeps them home, not able to get out as often as they'd like. We could do private duty at home. We have PT, OT, speech, mental health counseling. We help them get their application started if they need any type of financial aid or any finances to help with care. So we do a lot more than just the adult daycare. We focus on actually helping them through their whole journey for the caregiver and for the client so that they have a purpose every day. We give them a purpose.
No, that's actually wonderful. Have you heard of them before?
I've never heard. This is the first time, so I'm super interested. Yeah, I, when you said anyone over 18, that I did not think that. I immediately thought of the older generation. Yeah.
Well, the way that I always saw it was it's a place where, you know, if you have your elderly parents that are living with you, one or the other, and they're not set up, or they're not needing to go to assisted living, but they don't want to. They can't sit at home and do nothing all day. You drop them off in the morning, and I've actually seen the facility before, and they have all sorts of activities, and they do cater to all of them, and they're super fun. So let's backtrack a little bit. When did you open, and where are you located at?
So we opened in 2018, and we are located in Lake Mary, 590 Reinhardt Road.
Okay.
And, with the last 4 years, it's kind of been a roller coaster, but we are still here by the graces of God. So I think we're going to try to keep moving on and going forward.
So the last time, it's probably been about 2 years since we spoke. When we talked initially, did you actually have all of those other things that you provided, or was it just the adult daycare? I can't remember, to be honest with you.
We were actually just breaking into the other services. We started doing them more so as things started changing. We started doing more of the other services.
So walk us through the process. I mean, let's just say, my mother has come to live with us, and I wanted to use the Right Choice. So how would we go about getting started?
So first of all, I guess the biggest thing is having it introduced to families, and that's one of the hardest things I think that is we've been trying to conquer is having people know about what we do or that this service even exists.
Yes.
So it would normally stem from case managers, social workers, or your physician that you go to. If you just say, I'm really tired, I need some respite care. Hopefully that will trigger, oh, yeah, there's an adult daycare. But that's what we're hoping for.
Right.
Most people, like I said, don't know about this service. But if you Google it and you come to find out about it, the first step would be coming in, taking a tour, and then we assess your family member. It's an application. It's a very simple application. Tuberculosis, the physical, and they can start.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, we like to have them come, at least 2 days a week. If they would like to come more, that's great. It really just depends on what the family is looking for. But at least 2 days a week, because then this way they get to interact, they socialize, they make new friends here. They do their therapy while they're here, physical therapy, occupational, whatever therapy they may be needing. And, together, it's sort of like becomes sort of a little social group, if you will. So they kind of look forward to seeing each other. They're friends.
Yeah.
They may not remember when they get home that they have a friend here, but while they're here, they're friends.
Right. No, I think that's wonderful. And I think that you're right, though, to establish a routine. And I mean, routines are important with young children. I can imagine that routines are important for adults as well. So you're saying, so you let them do like a trial. So we would be able to bring mom there and have, check it out for a day or two, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Just to see how it's going to, they're going to mingle well. And a lot of the times it's to keep them home longer. But in most cases, most people really can't afford to send them to assisted living.
Right.
And when they get to the point where they need to go somewhere, I think families don't even realize that that's all out of pocket. Insurance doesn't cover that.
Yeah, I
and
know.
so when you're looking at, minimum $3,500 a month for someone to go into a facility, that's a lot of money for some people. Maybe for some people it's easy, an easier avenue, but for most people, that's a lot. So
definitely.
Having them come to the center, it's actually cost efficient. And you still can keep them home in the evenings. Now, if you just need a break because, they've come to the center a couple days a week, but you're at work, the weekend rolls around, maybe you need a long weekend, you want to take off your husband, just kind of a little getaway or something, we offer respite care.
Okay.
Minimum is 3 to 4 days a week. Some people, you need to stay 3 weeks or a month. We could do it for 3 days. You just want a weekend, you drop them off on Friday, caregiver will pick them up, keeps them at her place all the way till Monday, drops them off back here. You pick them up on Monday. You had a 3-day weekend.
Wow, that's really amazing. So talk to me about like the open hours.
That's what I was about to ask. Yeah.
So we open from 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday.
So they have to pick up by 5.
Yeah, they have to pick up by 5.
Are you moving stuff around? I can hear like...
No. Does it sound like I'm moving? No. I'm in the office, actually.
It might be just the connection. That sounds like when you mentioned that they do physical therapy and things like that too, that seems like it's like a 3-way beneficial thing. So that they're getting their physical therapy, you're able to do that in the same place that you're able to socialize and kind of get out. And then, the other family members, if they need a break, then they get that break too. So it just seems like a really good solution for not just, I need a place to go.
Right. Well, I think it's like really important for their well-being because, I think that when somebody ends up like you said, if they don't have something to look forward to, then they deteriorate faster. I don't know, Renee, what do you think about that?
Well, the thing is they could deteriorate faster, but the depression starts to set in. If you don't have a purpose, your whole life, you get up, you work, that's your purpose. And then now you find yourself in a situation where you can no longer work or you really don't have anywhere to be.
Right.
So you find yourself without purpose. So that becomes very depressing and the walls start to close in on you. And yes, you will start to decline quicker, but not necessarily because of your diagnosis. It could be more so because of the depression. So, it's nice to have a place to go. And we give them a lot of exercise. tomorrow we're closed, so we're like doubling up on the exercise today just to make sure that they have enough to get through the weekend. But, I mean, honestly, I just think that having a place like this is important for a lot of people. And I just wish more people would utilize the service and, that we could get the word out there with the physicians, because I do think that this is a better alternative than placing them in a home. Don't get me wrong. There's some people that they have to place because they have no choice.
Yeah.
But if you do have a choice and you have an opportunity to keep your family member home, I think this is, a better solution for you.
I think that you're right. And we're going to talk more about that when we get back from break. So don't go away.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And welcome back. This portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Frogger's Bar and Grill. Looking for a place to go with friends or meet new ones? Then you're looking for Frogger's. With 4 great locations, there's bound to be one near you. Come with friends or bring the family for some food and fun. And don't miss out on Frogger's amazing menu where everything is fresh, never frozen. Oviedo, Mount Dora, Apopka, and Altamont Springs. Frogger's, hopping with food and fun. So this portion of BaaD Radio, we're talking with Renee Gonzalez with Right Choice Adult Daycare over the phone, but she had to step off the phone. So what we're going to do is we're going to run over to the networking news. So I know that Melissa's working on that. Do you have the live ready?
How come she doesn't have an intro?
It's a day.
I don't know.
My phone, my trusty phone isn't loading.
Okay.
We're gonna blame it on
it's not just me.
Oh no, it's just
it's the day.
On board. All right. I can do. I'll do for this. The networking news is brought to you by Live Your Best Life. Live Your Best Life is an independent advocate for Green Compass USDA certified organic hemp products. They offer a complete range of products, including hemp, wellness, targeted health, personal care, performance, even products for our furry friends, which I'm very interested in getting some of that. To get more info on these products or become a consultant, call Terry at 407-616-3145. All right, so for the networking news, Melissa and I were talking a little bit about networking. And see, I'm an extrovert. I don't know if anybody can tell, but yes, I have an outgoing personality.
Yeah, especially if anybody has been around Angela in person, it's very obvious.
Yes, but Melissa, on the other hand, she says she's an introvert, right? So
I'm the exact opposite. So when it comes to networking, BNI, I know we talk about it like every episode now, but BNI has helped me a lot. But honestly, at the beginning, as a business owner, you have to do networking. That's how you build your business. So I'm going to be totally honest, embarrass the crap out of myself, but I would go to these events and then just want to be in the bathroom until things started. That free mingling, it makes me so uncomfortable.
Well, did you pre-write what you were going to say
no,
and things? Nope. Okay, so
we didn't prepare.
Yeah.
we were just we're just one foot in front of the other, just getting there. So, I thought it would be good to share some networking tips for people who are introverts and maybe don't love, because even in my chapter, there are some people who you can tell are don't love this. We don't love just talking to everybody type thing.
Can I get a pen and paper?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to go through a couple of tips that I found online. This is on topresume.com. One of the suggestions is to ask for introductions. So if you're going into a group, you can ask the organizer of the event, or maybe if you know just one person, you could ask them, tell them what you do, and then ask them who in this group do you think I should meet, help direct me.
Okay.
Because that way, especially if it's someone who organizes the event, they're more familiar with everybody and can kind of link you up with someone who you'll relate more with.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I shy, even though I'm an extrovert, I shy away from the people that come right up to me and get right up in my face and are like, "Hi, how are you?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Where are you from?" And I'm
It's
just
overwhelming.
I'm just okay, you know what? Personal space.
Okay.
And then I will veer around away from somebody that's that outgoing.
Oh my gosh, that's interesting because I'm that way, but I'm that way about a lot of people. So that's interesting that you're like that too. Another thing is you should prepare some unusual questions and icebreakers. So a lot of times people get asked the same sorts of things and it gets kind of monotonous and makes the conversation less interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that I could have done is prepared ahead of time, like I was talking about, and come up with just some icebreakers that people don't usually hear, you know.
I mean, I think in BNI they've asked some icebreakers that I've been like, what? Like if you're going to the moon and you could bring one thing, what's the one thing that you would bring? And I'm like,
I don't get
that's
that.
just dumb.
Doesn't even relate to what am I actually learning about this person? I don't know. There have been other ones, so I don't know.
I mean, like, where are you planning your next vacation? I like that one because that helps me learn something about what what they're planning on doing. Are they do they want to go to Jamaica or do they want to go over to the UK? That gives me a little insight into that person.
Yeah, definitely. Another one would be to put away your phone. I mean, that one's obvious because it's going to be a crutch.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you another story too, because we do have time for this too.
I love it.
Is we had 4 to 5 people apply for the mortgage seat in my BNI chapter, right? And there was 2 front runners, and I'm not going to name them by names, but again, they both had a great appearance. They both were doing very well. Well, they were both in like one meeting, and the presenter was up. And as he spoke, one of the front runners spent the time on his phone, scrolling through his phone, which just got him booted out of the seat
automatically.
Yeah, and so and I was like, I'm sorry, because it was my, it was my guest, it was my person. And so when the time came for me to tell him, I said, listen, you did great. I'm like, but you got to put the phone down.
Oh, that's good that you told him that.
Yeah, I was like,
I mean, if he's not paying attention, was it the first time was at that chapter?
No,
he went a couple times because he's in the running. Okay, got it.
Because he would, like I said, we had 5 people,
right?
And he made it to the top 2 of who we were going to decide between, and like I said, he lost the spot.
Right.
Well, he could have still lost the spot, but that's what it was like. That just made him out the door.
Especially when you're brand new to it, you want to
you gotta pay attention
on the phone. Yeah. So another tip would be to keep your energy up, which I'm reading this and I'm like, that's easy to say, but when you're an introvert, that's a little bit difficult. But basically, just fueling up, like hydrating before you get through the door.
The problem with that, though, is that you got to pee all the time.
I know. Well, let's not don't get carried away. Don't show up with like one of those camel backpack things or anything like that. But like, I don't know. Definitely, I wouldn't say if you're very much so an introvert, I wouldn't say, drink a bunch of drinks before, but maybe like, one shot or something like that.
Oh, you mean like food?
I mean, you could hydrate, but also I think that just like the smallest amount of something might loosen you up. I'm not saying to get hammered. Do not get hammered.
Resume.com did not say this.
No, that part I definitely added on. That part I added on.
Because then like you're talking to somebody and they're like,
oh yeah, no, we're not. That's not what I mean.
Was that tequila I smell?
That's not what I mean. That's a very bad first impression. But yeah, those are some certain things. And if you know about yourself, I'm going to be a little bit nervous. Just expect that awkwardness and just like push through it. Because a lot of times you think so much like people are looking at me and people are like judging everything I'm doing and nobody's paying attention.
Oh, I know. I mean, and lots of times, well, on that same sense, it's like if you're already going to be nervous, don't chug a bunch of energy drinks before that either, because that's just going to make you sweat like crazy.
Look a little manic.
But I mean, like even like I said, I don't like being in a networking situation where, because lots of times a lot of these in-person chapters do 100%, or it's like you have open networking for the first couple of minutes, and it's so loud, and you're literally like screaming over. You're sitting, everybody breaks off into like subgroups, and then you're literally screaming at each other to hear each other.
Right.
And I don't like that either.
Right. I hate the free. I hate the free mingling stuff. Like that's so hard.
I shut down, but I can't. When I have to yell at somebody, I'm just like, I will honestly say this is not my favorite time, and I'll go sit in my seat. I mean, I had my BNI chapter this morning, and when it was over, I bolted. Not because I don't want to talk to everybody, because I don't like that. I don't like that chaotic kind of feel.
Like more the one-to-ones and things like that.
Yes.
So that's what definitely for introverts. Like I'm so much better with those one-to-ones than doing the whole group thing. So I guess another tip would be if you do go to one of these larger networking events, and ask that coordinator, like, hey, this is what I do. Who should I talk to? If you can make like, one or two valuable connections and then go ahead and book like a one-to-one right after, that's going to get you so much further than trying to like meet everybody in the room and like put yourself so much more out of your comfort zone. You can like actually make progress.
No, I think that that's an excellent idea, is to be prepared ahead of time and to try to get that connection, because you're right. That's what you want to do, is that you want to get that one-to-one. So doing your homework beforehand and finding out who you want to meet is an excellent idea. All right, that music means we're going to break. So that was actually a lot of fun, and I think we might continue this conversation when we get back from break. So stay tuned.
You're listening to BaaD Radio on News Radio WFLA Orlando.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back. Spring is in the air, so now is the time to head to Premier Couple Superstore with the huge selection of lingerie, shoes, toys, games, love oils, and a ton of great gifts. Premier Couple Superstore has got what you want, so you don't pay those high prices because you go directly to the source. 5009 South OBT, or shop online at premiercouples.net, because a couple that plays together stays together. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Do that together.
It's kind of sexy.
Yeah, hot. There you go, Premier. Get a little bonus.
Well, unfortunately, Renee had to take off. So if you would like to get some more information about what Renee does in her business, please visit rightchoiceadultdaycare.com. And you can also reach out to me at angela@baadradio.com to get some more information. So we appreciate having her on the show with us. But now we're going to go on to our second guest. So please welcome Brandon Gellis, founder of Alpha One Support. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here today.
And I love his tagline is empowering our partners to succeed.
Okay.
So
I love that.
how did you come up? Well, first, tell everybody what Alpha One Support is.
Okay. Alpha One Support is a done-for-you IT service for businesses.
Did you say done for you?
Yeah, done for you.
What does that mean?
It means you don't got to do anything, right?
Yep. We're in a world of automation, so everybody likes to sleep at night, right?
Confirmed.
You know what? Yeah. That's true.
Just say yes.
I like to sleep at night, in the morning, midday,
Same.
Naps. Love it. But if you're not managing your own, if you're managing your own IT support, then you have a lot of things to worry about, because IT doesn't stop, just like New York. It doesn't stop. So what done for you, you can focus on growing your business, doing what you do best, while we handle all the things that you may not be comfortable dealing with. But we work side by side with you. So this is where we got the tagline of empowering our partners to succeed.
Right.
I come from a background where I love giving back, and I love seeing others succeed. I'm not envious. I love seeing everybody win.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. That's why, I'm glad you're here, because that's the type of people we like to have on the show.
Exactly. And, unfortunately, my partner couldn't be with me today because he's actually helping one of our partners. So we're putting them first. Anything else is secondary. If they're successful, we're successful.
Yeah, that's like I said, I love that attitude. And so tell me, how did you get started?
Well, let's go from the beginning. My father was a mechanical engineer. So with that being said,
my dad's a mechanical engineer too. He's retired now.
Really? Okay. Well, every day's a Saturday for him, isn't it?
What do you mean?
When you're retired. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, gotcha. I was thinking, she's laughing at me like, duh.
No, I would never.
But I've always had this concept of figuring out how things work and how to make things better for others. And then my mother being in the medical field, well, she's saving lives. And so I want to save our personal information, and I want to make sure that we are safe in this growing world of technology.
Oh, you're a blend of the two professions. That's so cute.
I know, but our lives are so revolved around all of our gadgets now. If it doesn't work, then
you get stressed out, kind of like when stuff wasn't going right.
Yeah, like things today. Today was just one of
my phone.
Is it a full moon?
Yeah, I know.
It is a full moon.
It's
I
a
saw
rough
it this
one.
morning. So that is why everything is acting really funky. I don't really believe in all that stuff, but you know what? It's working for me right now.
It'd be funny
So.
if he started with that first. Okay, it is a full moon, so let's take that into account.
What's your sign? I'm
Yeah.
kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I was going to say I'm an Aries.
He was ready with it.
Yep.
You know, some people are like, "Oh, it's one of those shows. You
Oh,
bust
yeah.
out the tarot cards." I did have somebody on the show once before that talked to dead people.
Can we please have them back on?
Yes.
I missed that show.
I wonder
Yes.
if they can talk to dead servers.
Like,
Oh,
ooh,
okay.
I don't know. Do they have souls?
See, I think
The-
that's where
the way
you
that
get.
ChatGPT is going, they may.
We were talking about that.
Okay, next week we're
right.
gonna have to talk
We're gonna
about
do a
it.
feature on it. That's insane. What do you know about it?
Well, with ChatGPT is a very powerful artificial intelligence. We are really advancing ourselves. I would say, me personally, I have built some AI around ChatGPT for my business.
Already,
That's
wow.
so smart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It is really has helped take off a lot of the heavy lifting.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, even though I'm in technology, you have to keep the human touch.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You have to. So with that being said, there's things that I've developed for our partners to make their lives easier.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm excited to see what the next 6 months hold for us.
So what does that look like? You said you have to keep the human touch. What does that look like for what you do?
Well, for me, I don't want to, outsource my employees in a term of staff augmentation is what it's called.
Staff augmentation.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
And I want to keep people in my business because small businesses, I believe, is the lifeblood of our country.
There,
Mhm.
Yes, I agree with that 1,000%. Especially being in. Are you in a BNI chapter? Are you in a networking group? Any networking groups?
I am. I'm in a group that is ironically in New York.
A BNI in New York?
Oh, yes.
Wow,
it's called-
interesting.
Yep. It's called Simply Referrals. And it's one of those, down to earth, talking with that human touch, not to say anything about other BNI groups, but
Right.
it could be very intimidating. But with this, it's a relaxed environment and it's about what it is, referrals.
Well, I'm guessing
Mhm.
you're 100% virtual then, right?
Yes and no.
Because I'm like,
What?
you've mentioned New York twice now, so I'm guessing you're from New York.
No, I'm actually from Michigan.
Okay. Well, like I said, do you have family in New York or something?
I have quite a lot of clients in New York.
Okay.
So
So
what-
I knew there was a connection.
When
there.
you said yes and no, it's virtual. What does that mean?
I do travel and I do meet in person, again, that human touch,
Right.
Since the pandemic, we have shown that remote working is very efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But
You-
also,
you have to make that presence
Mhm.
known, show your face, kind of helps you really build that chemistry with that person.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. Okay, so what were we talking about before we said the
how we
BNI?
got into it.
Yep. How I got into it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So I've always been one that likes helping others. When I was growing up, I was, helping take care of my younger brother, raising him up. And then just the satisfaction I got by seeing somebody happy that I did something to improve their lives. So, I've done a myriad of different things. And my love came back to computers. I built my first computer when I was 12.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes. Through a lot of cuts, scrapes, some electrical shocks.
Oh
Yes.
gosh.
But really, what's really driving me now is I have a 3-year-old son. And I want to show him that you can do anything you put your mind to. I have authored a book that's on Amazon that helps young individuals get into IT because there's no manual, there's no orientation.
What's it called?
It's called Getting IT Right.
Awesome.
Getting IT right.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
Cute.
So, all right. Well, where are we on? I know you said 2 minutes, like 2 minutes ago. So we have 1 more minute left.
No, actually, we should probably just head right to the break.
Okay. So we are going to break, and when we get back, we're going to jump back in with Brandon. So stay tuned.
You're listening to BaaD Radio. For networking and more, go to BaaD, BaaD radio.com.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Ground Up Property Service. Rick Hall and his team are ready to give your lawn that just stepped out of the salon look. With this crazy weather, your lawn may not be looking its best. Ask about the new lawn painting service as well. I know I laugh because it's really cool.
Yeah.
Tom and I walk around the block all the time, and I'm like, ooh, they should call Rick. They have a big brown spot over there.
Oh my gosh, I just had Easter pictures. Why did I not think of this? Okay, I'm so sorry, Rick, but next time. We just did Easter pictures in our neighborhood, and I did the photos, and as I was editing them, I'm like, this grass looks terrible. Like as I'm shooting, I'm just paying attention to like the kids and stuff. But then when I'm editing, I'm like, oh my God, it looks like everything is dead and dying. And this is a miserable Easter. So next time, Rick, I'm going to tell my neighborhood, let's green up this grass for at least the Easter festival.
I think that's a fantastic idea. So, but you can reach Rick at where I just lost my spot, grounduppropertyservicesinc.net. So 407-468-4295. I think that's a great idea for a referral source to him. All right, so before break, we started talking with Brandon Gellis. The name of his company is Alpha One Support, with a tagline of empowering our partners to succeed. Now, we started to talk about the AI. What is it? AI what now?
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we were talking about, like, I've only played with it a little bit, and I'm like, okay, write this or write that. I mean, I said, write copy for me, and it did, like commercial copy. And you know what? It wasn't bad either.
Mm-hmm.
But Melissa was saying that this is, go ahead and.
Yeah, actually, this Sunday afternoon at 5, the Florida Roundtable runs here on News Radio WFLA. It runs all around the state as well. But one of the topics we have is students have been cheating using artificial intelligence. And now artificial intelligence has been created to catch students cheating.
Oh, I got you. So, okay, so let's talk about it, Brandon.
Well, as we create anything in history, there's a good and there's a bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, of course, it's only natural for us to see what AI can do. And one of the things is, hey, let's do this test or this essay.
Write a paper essay, yeah.
English was not my strong suit. I did not like writing papers. So I can understand why students may want to use AI to help them with
But from what I understand is you can say, okay, write me a 5-page paper on this topic using this source, and this source. And it will do it using those sources. So that's correct, right?
It is correct. But it's almost like a form of plagiarism because you're not writing it.
Well, no, it's totally cheating because
Right.
it's not your work.
Definitely cheating. I wonder how it finds it out. Like, I wonder how it knows that it's, AI made it, or if there's like an easy way to, like, if you have to write like one sentence per paragraph to like throw it off or something.
I don't know. Well, are you talking about like
how it catches?
Is that what it is?
It does. There's a way that it's catched, and I may not know the ins and outs of it, but
You didn't code it?
No, I didn't code it. But one of the easiest ways is, think about it. We have pencils. We have erasers for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
We make mistakes. We're humans. So when you have an AI generate content, whether it's for your website, blog, or essay, it's going to not have any grammar errors. It's going to be almost robotic at how it's talking. There's mannerisms, and even in the way that we speak and write. And so in that case, an AI can detect that perfection.
All right, so kids just throw
Dumb
in some misspellings and
put your apostrophes in the wrong place.
Run on sentences, throw those in there. You're good.
Dumb it down, or does it dumb it up or dumb it down?
Or a shameless plug, check in on Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock and find out how they actually do it.
That's not shameless. You're not shameless.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because, like I said, I was actually really wondering about that because I'm like, what's stopping students from just turning in completely AI work and getting great grades on it? Because the stuff that my daughter and I played with was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I asked it to write me a commercial because we had Joni Smalley with Leesburg Partnership, and they've got coming up is the Leesburg Bike Fest, and I'm working on commercials for her for the media company that I work for, and I wrote them and I had them turned in and everything like that. So I had already done the copy, but then afterwards I was like, all right, Anna, I'm like,
curious.
Ask it to write me a 30-second script for Leesburg Bike Fest, and that bad boy spit it out with like, insert revving engine here, and it got it all. It sounded great. It did have the date incorrect because I think that the last, you might know, is it like something 2021?
Yep, December 2021.
Yeah, so there's no information. So it wouldn't have the updated dates of the new Leesburg.
What's significant about 2021?
That's just the last of the information that was put into it.
Into Chat GPT?
Yeah, I think they may have gotten tired. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Is there any realm that it doesn't cover?
I have yet to find it. As being in IT, whenever something new comes out, I try to break it. So, for example, the ad that you created, I have taken a test website and generated content, did SEO, which is search engine optimization, for those that don't know, and now it's ranking in St. Pete, Tampa, Lakeland, and it's on the first page.
Wait. So you told, I'm sorry, I'm not fully understanding what you just said.
I told ChatGPT to make content surrounding a website.
Wow.
And my prompts that I tell it are 700 words long.
That's a lot.
I get very descriptive. It's almost like talking to a child. You have to teach it. You have to let it know exactly what you want it to do.
So it created content that is now like up there.
Yes.
That works with the SEO. So that sounds like a problem for web developers.
Well,
because that's a lot of their job.
Yes.
Right?
It is. But with the same thing we were talking about with students, Google is also working on something to detect that inside of website content.
And then
why would that be a problem though?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if all the websites have that on there or blogging or stuff like that, how are they're going to be jockeying for that 1-2 position because they're putting so much new, they can write the program to put so much new content on a website that, because that's how that, you know what I mean? Am I right?
Yes, it will make it will make things difficult for Google to know what's the best content, because if it's all optimized, then your search results are going to be inaccurate. And ChatGPT, they put a disclaimer. There are errors. And I have seen people put things out there and not double check, and they give out wrong information.
Oh, wow. I didn't think anything was wrong from there.
Oh, yes. ChatGPT, if it doesn't know, it will make something up.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know
Still
that.
learning.
Well, yeah, it learns as it goes. Great.
Oh, yes. It's a learning model. In a way, it's kind of scary. So
it's very scary.
I mean, I'm all about Terminator. It's going to become self-aware on this day, and then it's going to like launch.
Oh no.
She's like, you've seen Terminator. Please tell me you've seen Terminator.
I love you so much, Angela. I know what you're talking about. I know the reference.
There's nothing like waking up in the morning and then drinking your coffee and then going outside to battle some androids.
Have you seen Terminator?
Oh, I have.
All right.
Don't have that tone with me.
You just make me feel so old sometimes.
No, I just don't watch a lot of movies. I'm a documentary girl.
Okay.
So we're going to blame it on that.
I was like born in the 70s, 80s kid. So, all right. How are we? We going to break now? I'm just putting it out there.
I mean, we can, but we actually have another minute.
All right. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and just go to break since I said that. So,
you sure? All right.
I'm going to make your job really hard for you this week.
Yeah, you sort of are, but that's okay because I'm on a crazy train right now with you guys. So anyway, I guess we'll be right back after this quick break. It's BaaD Radio, BaaD radio.com. If you want to learn how to network and you want to get on board, you need to go to baadradio.com. Be right back.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back as we launch into our second hour of BaaD Radio. I'm going to run through all the regular info for those of you who have just joined us. I am Angela Smerito, your host, and in studio with me we have Melissa Fox, our producer.
Hello.
We also have Melissa Jacob with Striking Brand.
Thank you.
I didn't call you the
I
other
know.
Melissa this time. I'm going to try not
listening.
to do that.
You're fine. I was just messing.
Melissa is our videographer and our co-host, and so she does all of the videos that you can find on baadradio.com of previous episodes, but you can also find Melissa's work on strikingbrand.com. She is a videographer as well as a photographer. In studio with me, we actually had him on for the first two seconds before this, but we have Brandon Gellis, founder of Alpha One Support, with the tagline of empowering our partners to succeed. So easily to say, you're an IT company. Is that kind of the easy way to say it?
That's the easiest way to say it.
All right. Well, tell us all of the different services that you offer.
Okay. Well, Alpha One, we cater to other small to mid-sized businesses. We offer everything from 24-hour help desk, business continuity, which is the life insurance of your business in case of disaster, cybersecurity, networking, and the cloud.
The cloud. You know what? I don't know what the cloud is. I'll just say it. And I mean, I know that it's a place where stuff's stored. I still store everything like on my hard drive. Can you please explain to me what the cloud is?
Sure. And I love it because I can do it in one sentence.
All right.
So I like to call it OPS.
OPS.
And that stands for other people's stuff. So the cloud is just using somebody else's hardware.
I don't get it.
So you were saying that you're using your documents locally.
Yeah, I mean, like if I have information, I make folders. I put things in my folders. I know how to find it in my folders, and that's where it is.
Okay. Well, we have that. And then you send an email, right? And it just goes to the other person?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take Microsoft. Microsoft has a big warehouse. They have nothing but servers. And these servers are, say, like these hard drives that you have. So when you want to upload a document to, Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive, you send it over, and it stores on their hardware, and you're renting it out.
Okay. All right.
Does that make sense?
I mean, no.
It's like so you're not taking the storage on your own computer.
Right.
You're actually like just anytime Howie said you're emailing something out, now that file, they're storing that on their computer. Like that's going to carry
because it's in your sent folder?
Because they downloaded it to their computer.
But they do that without my permission, or
No, that's just what happens. Like when you send like files. So now their computer needs to have the space to even see your file. So that's taking up space on their computer now. So you're essentially for the cloud, and please tell me if I'm wrong. You're essentially sending files and information that would bog down your system to someone else's that has a lot more space. Hey, like keep this all over there, but you can like access it back, so it won't bog down your system.
Okay,
right?
That is correct.
Okay.
So is this just for? I mean, does this pertain only to like super large files?
No, it could be the smallest little thing. It could be a photo. It could be anything as large as your 20,000 record collection that you put onto a thumb drive, and it can go up there.
Yeah, because I know you have, because she's always like, the Wi-Fi, everything like that affects what you do, and your files have got to be huge from these cameras and stuff. So you use the cloud a lot, I assume.
Yeah, and then the programs that I run, I have an editor that I work really closely with, so I'll put files up. It's called Creative Cloud. It's Adobe's little system, and he can see the files at the same time I can see them because they're all being stored in like a different place. It's not on my computer because then he wouldn't be able to see them. So we kind of put them up into this mutually accessible space.
But when you change it, it's all in real time.
Right. So he could change a file, save it, and put it up, and then I can see the same
Crystal and I have
thing.
been doing that with like my pending spreadsheet and stuff like that as I do stuff to it.
Right.
And I guess we use the cloud then. She just showed me how to do it. I made a spreadsheet, I add the information, and then I hit a couple buttons, send her a link, and so she has it like live.
Updated.
So as I update stuff on my pending sheet for business, she can see it, or vice versa. She can edit and I can see it as well. Is that the cloud?
Getting closer.
Yeah, getting closer. It's good for collaboration too, as well. I mean, files are just like the tip of the iceberg of it. There's so many other things it can do. For example, I'm sure everybody has used Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
We use Zoom and Teams a lot.
So instead of having your own dedicated computer with your own software developer that had to make this program for you and then spend all that money for it, you could just rent it for a subscription fee for pennies on the dollar a month.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I notice it. Like, do I have access to the cloud on with my Microsoft Office subscription?
If you have an internet connection, you have the ability to reach the cloud.
Okay, but do I have to pay for it every time that I use it?
Well, with Google and OneDrive, just say, for example, for files, they give you a limit that you can use for free.
Okay. I think that's what it is. So, and if you want more, then you have to, like you said, pay for it. I actually, I know that there are some businesses that their whole business is backing up files. Like,
Yes.
and is that just for financials?
I would say it should be for financials. It should be for your entire business, essentially. Like, so let's take something, for example. We had Hurricane Ian come through.
Yeah.
And it hit Cape Coral.
You had to
Naples.
remind me.
Yes. It was a very busy time for me because I had some partners down there. So
are they okay?
They are okay. They are okay physically, family-wise, and business-wise due to the fact that they had their data backed up to the cloud. So, there was major flooding. If you had all your hardware, like your laptop or a desktop, and it gets wet, that data is gone.
Oh, geez.
And that could be devastating for a business. But with the cloud, you could just replace your laptop, tell
and
Microsoft.
all your info's right there.
It'll suck right back down like nothing ever happened.
Okay, that all sounds like super dandy, but it also sounds like it's like just a place for people to hack into and get all your personal or all your business financials.
And that's where another benefit comes into.
See, this is called a segue. You see what I did there?
Yep. Yes, I did.
But no, it does. It just seems like it opens up a great place for people to poke in there and get your stuff.
Well, exactly. Like, say, for instance, you have stuff that you want to store, like physical stuff, like you have a jet ski, RV, or something. And
Okay, you mean like physical stuff.
Yep. And say that you can't keep it at your house because either it's too expensive or you don't have room. Well, you take it to a storage unit. Well, you trust the storage unit because they have security in place, whether it's a fence, locked containers.
Right.
It works the same way digitally. And with leaders like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon, they have a team that's larger than mine that are consistently protecting this data that actually is compliant with a lot of different compliance standards. For instance, Microsoft is something that the government uses because it is vetted to be secure.
So is it just a bunch of like mega nerds sitting around trying to write code to outsmart each other to get into your stuff?
Mega nerds.
Yes, while watching Star Wars.
Yeah, in costume.
Yeah. Don't forget that, old or new.
Oh, God.
But, so they do. They hire hackers to stop the hackers, right?
Yep, that's right. And funny enough, my head of security is a certified ethical hacker. So he's the good guy.
How do you certify an ethical
white hat.
hacker?
Wow.
Well, with that, you actually go through a lot of different tests. Actually, the test is a live test, as in you're going through and you are having to either stop a breach or you have to penetrate a defense.
Wow, that's fascinating. But I mean, you said this, like, is that test from you or is that test from... Oh, wait, hold on. We're going to break. I don't want to mess up the time.
Ooh, a
So
cliffhanger.
that is a cliffhanger. So hold that thought. And when we get back from break, we're going to talk about hackers.
Breaching.
Breaching hackers. Stay tuned.
Wow. I don't know that I can really follow that, but hang out with us. We'll be right back after news and commentary. This is BaaD Radio on News Radio WFLA Orlando.
You're listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Bravo! My compliments, little lady.
Come on, Commercial!
Break for 30 seconds.
Commercial!
You are now listening to BaaD Radio.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, and this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Rachel Roach Realty, a Coldwell Banker Realtor. With a sea of realtors out there, choose one that thinks of you first and not their commission. 407-252-4566. All right, so now you've got me all mixed up. Was that like the beginning of segment 4 or segment 5?
This is cinco segmente.
I don't speak Spanish.
Oh, for God's sakes, it's 5.
So I did the reintroduction like on the wrong one.
The last segment of the first hour of BaaD Radio.
We are just a hot mess today.
You know what? It's one of those days we're allowed to have them.
Yep, we're gonna roll with it. All right. So we're here with Brandon, and he is an expert on IT. And when we left, we were talking about
the tests and who gives them. If you give those out, or
No, I do not give out the test. I am a cloud engineer, so things like CompTIA. CompTIA is almost like Microsoft, but for training.
Okay.
So they're one of the people that will give out tests, and some of them are for penetration testing, which is trying to break into security defenses. And you get a certification that lasts so long, maybe a couple of years, and then you have to recertify because things are ever changing. So it's a rigorous process, and also you have to know more than just hacking. You have to know networking, systems, everything. So the ones that are called certified ethical hackers, they are the true nerds.
Yeah. But I think that we need them to save us from the mean nerds.
That's right. And, the NSA and the CIA, FBI, they all have those.
Yeah.
is it like the movies like on Ocean's 11 or whatever, where the guy's like trying to hack into the system, the casino? Have you seen that movie?
Yes, I have.
And he's like, I'm almost in.
I like the one with the Italian Job. Have you ever seen the Italian Job?
No.
Have you ever seen the Italian Job?
No.
The original or the remake?
The remake.
Both.
The one with Marky Mark.
Macky Mac.
Anyway, so you go, because I'll tell you the one about mine first.
But no, it is not that exciting. It's actually a whole bunch of Red Bull monsters and maybe some explicit words.
Okay. I mean, anytime you're dealing with technology, I feel like that goes hand in hand.
Right. Good point. No, with the Italian Job, one of the characters was like the hacker, and one of the things that they showed was like they were doing a heist. They were trying to move money from one place to another, and so they set up all the lights, like the lights in the city, to give them a perfect way to get there. So it'd be like, okay, we're coming up on here, so we're going to turn this light green so that they had a straight shot.
Got you.
That was kind of the part that was the hacker. I just know that the kid who played it was like the kid from who was in all of the Austin Power movies.
Seth Green.
Seth Green.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you. This is why, Melissa,
That's why I'm here, yes.
I should
Answer your trivia question.
I should pay you more money.
You really should, but it's okay.
Bring Froggers.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah,
Froggers.
bring Froggers.
I'll bring Froggers more and more. All right. So let's go on with what we're talking about with the services that you offer.
Sure. So business continuity. This is important. We were just talking about Hurricane Ian that hit South Florida. That's a very extreme example of what could happen. But say you have a power outage that actually damages your equipment. What if you have something where somebody steals the equipment? How are you going to get that information back, and what is your plan? So that's one of the things that we do for our partners. We create a plan of what to do when it happens. So that way we're not scrambling, and we can say, okay, well, let's follow this step by step, and this is how we get you back up and running. So you can carry on with confidence. You can continue serving your customers, and it protects on an attack that is called ransomware. It's where they lock your computer.
Yep. We talked about this before with that somebody said on the show before. I think it was Brian Awesome. He said that it's like the second highest source of profitable business is cyber hack or whatever ransom.
Yes, ransomware and cyber attacks. Small businesses account for 60% of all attacks.
So tell me how that works. I mean, they hack in, steal your stuff, and say, I'm not giving it back to you until you pay us?
For the most part, yes. And it could start by opening an email that you think is coming from somebody you know.
Yeah, we've talked about this before,
Oh,
too,
yes.
and they look so real.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
But what are the things that you can look for that you know that this is not a real?
one of the first things is, if you're working and your owner or CEO is asking you to buy a gift card for them,
I've
Yeah.
gotten that one.
Anytime the gift cards,
Yeah.
Mhm.
don't do it.
yeah, you have to think about it for a second. Think about the company you're working for. Why would the CEO be asking you specifically to buy
Mhm.
a gift card when,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make too much sense?
Yep.
Give them a call. Just give them a call.
Yes, verify. Hey, did you ask me to buy a gift card? He's going to say, I don't know what you're talking about.
But I do know this Nigerian prince who.
Yes, I've got one of those too. Just send me, $100,000 and I'll give you $8 million.
Yeah, sounds legit.
Totally. I'd fall for it.
Angela.
One of the best ways to help and combat that is through awareness and training. And that's something we also provide. We provide that for the business owners, the employees, so they can be well equipped to prepare for not having that happen.
Mhm.
Because another statistic is, did you know that 75% of all cyber attacks happen internally?
By people who work there?
Employees?
Yes.
I had not heard that.
And it's due to lack of knowledge. You clicking a
Oh,
no.
okay. Yeah,
I
we
think
were-
we both misunderstood.
Yep.
Like somebody from the inside of the business is stealing from the business.
Right. Like
Yeah.
cash
No.
from the drawer, I thought was what was
Yeah,
no,
happening.
no.
Okay, got it.
No, and that's just it's just a knowledge gap at that point.
Mhm.
But that's the biggest thing. I mean, I hate to rip off G.I. Joe, but knowing's half the battle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you do training? You said you did, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you do training
Yep.
sessions so that
Yep.
for the new younger employees or older ones,
Right.
less tech savvy.
Right. And train them. Do you notice that more of it happens on people's phone versus because everybody's got their phone
Mhm.
on their
Mobile devices.
or their email going to their mobile devices. Do you notice most of it on here or on computers?
I've noticed it. It's equal. It all depends on the employee. If they are traveling, I see it more on mobile devices.
That makes sense.
And
yeah.
if they're either remote or if they're actually inside of the office, I see it there as well. And the great thing about my training is it's always updating. It's updating with the latest trends.
Mhm.
So it keeps everybody packed full of ammo to keep themselves safe in an event of a cyber attack or preventing it altogether.
Because answering that or sending, I understand the gift cards because they want to get some gift cards sent to them or whatever. But I mean, there are actual links that once you hit it or respond, then it gives them access to the server.
Yep, and it downloads too. So here's a scarier example. Say you're an accountant. You see invoices all day long. Well, what if you get an invoice from somebody that you know you're doing business with, but it's a bad actor?
Mm-hmm.
You open up that PDF file to look at that. Well, guess what? Now they have access to your
So you
account.
don't even have to respond. You just have to open it.
Yep.
See, that's just so wrong on so many levels because that's, you're busy, you're doing stuff. You get an email from John Smith who, it is from payroll, even though
You're saying you don't even have to click a link in the email, like just literally just opening the email.
Opening the email could do it. Opening an attachment can do it. And then, of course, the link.
Dang it all.
I know that's tough though because, like I said, how else are you're gonna have to? I mean, scan.
Who's gonna do it? So I know you can put your mouse over like the sender or whatever, and then it should show your email address or something. Should it? Something like that.
Right, it will.
And then you could see that. But I'm not hovering my mouse over every single. It's not happening.
No, not. I don't know. It's tough.
And that used to be a stress point for a lot of my partners.
Oh.
So we implemented something where every email that comes from outside of the organization, there's a little banner that says, hey, make sure you know who this is coming from before you do that.
Yes, I've seen those as well. And that's, like I said, that's to verify you understand. I mean, even like in like people that I meet from BNI and it's a new email that comes in, I get it on my BaaD Radio email address, but I also get it from my Mindful Media group. So is that something that comes with certain like Microsoft Office and stuff?
Yes.
Don't answer. Oh, it was so close to giving you another cliffhanger.
I don't know. It sounded like he had more to say after that.
Yeah, it was a yes. Could have been more. All right, we'll be right back. You're listening to BaaD Radio on News Radio WFLA Orlando.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Liberty Property Inspections. Your home is one of your most important investments, so don't trust it to anyone. LibertyPropertyInspections.net, helping you protect your investment. So all those are all my show sponsors. Oh. So he's like, okay, because this is the first time we've been on a radio show, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the sponsors are what make it happen, really. So each week our featured sponsors. They get part of that. It's part of their advertising, and so they get like when Melissa makes the video, it includes all of their logos, and then they're featured on our website baadradio.com with links to their business and stuff. So that's why I do that. Nice. And I also love the sponsors. So they're all great, and they do come in here. That's part of the sponsorship package too. Is they come in here and they can talk about their business. But we've been doing BaaD Radio for over a year now. It was a year in January, and our sponsors have just been with us, and so they're like part of the family, part of the BaaD family.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And so we had a cliffhanger, but now I can't remember what it was.
Oh my
gosh, the answer was yes, but
seriously?
Dang it, I had you last time.
Like you can't remember either.
All right,
so.
other Melissa, you got this one?
No, you know
Dang
me.
it.
Can't replay.
I got ADHD, so yeah.
Well,
that's
we were
not gonna
talking about
happen.
cybersecurity, and I think that we probably could talk for hours and hours and hours about that. So once something does, okay, say I accidentally do hit that. Is there anything that you can do kind of immediately to stop them getting access, or do you know how do you find out that it's happened?
So see, this is a very interesting question, and I get this a lot. So yes and no, you can find out immediately if they're in, and sometimes you can't. Mm-hmm. Not to go into any specifics, there are some attackers that will just go in and try to take whatever they can right then, but there's others that will just wait
until something good comes along, like money. I mean, everything has to do with money.
Yes,
so
it's all money related, but they'll wait so your guard's down, so you don't think that anything's wrong. They can hide. Sometimes they can hide through a audit if the auditors are not doing a good enough job of it.
Really?
And then when you're thinking that you're safe, well, they're just sneaking around like ninjas in the background, just taking things here and there. And particularly for small businesses, this can happen. Because, again, I'm a statistics guy, and my second hand is a data analysis guy, so he just pumped me full of statistics. So 70% of small businesses either don't even have anything in place for cybersecurity, they don't have a plan, or they're not using the software.
Right. Is that what a firewall is?
A firewall is something, yes, that helps you with any kind of internet traffic, and then you have antivirus. Those are the things where the hacker gets in and he puts, say, Trojan or like the ransomware.
That's
software.
what the Trojan one's the one that was around forever.
Yes,
mm-hmm.
And they work very well because you can see Zoom US on your application, and then you click it, but it's really dark web guy gonna take your social security and your blood type.
Yeah, well, I know that some of those spyware things are like viruses in themselves. Once you download it, you get nothing but pop-ups. This is expired. This is expired. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, just leave me alone. I don't want your help.
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't even know, I couldn't figure out how to get it off my computer.
Oh no, yeah, those were really bad, especially. I'm going to age myself here. During the dial-up tone time.
I was there. I was born in 73, so I'm not going to lie.
Hey, I even remember that. So
right after you've got mail, and then you have pop-ups that saying, hey, I can help you plant your flowers. Hey, I can save your money for your dog and give him a credit score and things of that sort. And it's just absolutely crazy. But now Trojans and ransomware, that's the thing that's really affecting businesses. Ransomware, it locks your PC down. But with business, having a business continuity plan and backups, you can say, okay, cool, you have my data. You're not getting paid because I'm just going to load my stuff back up and you don't have it actually.
Right. So, but they still did get that information though. Yep. So what are you going to, I mean, that means that there's a security breach.
Yes.
Especially if there's people's confidential information in there.
That's right. And that's when you need to have a plan in place because lots of people don't know, especially with a business. You hear it about other companies where they say, hey, we had a breach. It's your duty as a business owner, and it's a legal requirement to say that you've been compromised.
Like Target, right?
Yes.
That was the big one.
That was a big one. Equifax was another one.
I know that there was a big one that went through the radio industry. iHeart did not get it. JVC Broadcasting did not get it, but I believe it was Cox. I don't know. Do you remember when that happened? I think that it hit Cox Media bad.
Yeah, I believe they actually had to pay out a lot of money to get rid of the ransomware. And it happened before the Osceola Sheriffs. They lost their websites as well. The best part about here at iHeart, we actually get test emails that come into our email boxes. And then a couple of days later, did you fall for it?
Right.
Yeah, they got a whole department that worries about all that.
Well, that's a lot of information. I mean, iHeart's an enormous company, so try getting in there. But yeah, the smaller I think with the smaller companies, especially when people are like friendly with like the owners or the CEO, and it's not uncommon for them to get an email from them, especially if they work in the financial department, then I can see where that would be an easy place to target.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, and that's why these cyber attacks go after small businesses because they're easy targets.
Yeah, they just, like I said, we're on first name basis with the CEO. I'm curious about individual computers. Like, do you go in and like verify that each computer is like got everything that it needs, and then offer some sort of guarantee saying, okay, as long as you don't do this, this, and this, then we're going to secure this computer, and we're going to guarantee it that this is not going to be no problems are going to happen here.
That's a great question. As far as guaranteeing nothing will ever happen,
you can't do that.
You can't do that.
Right.
Anybody that tells you they can guarantee, you need to run. Like for example, again, I'm going with the door locks. You have locks on your doors. Does that guarantee that you'll never get a break-in?
No.
So, or say for instance, we have law enforcement. Does that guarantee that we will never have a crime again?
Preventative measure.
That's right. Being proactive is the biggest thing. You want to, what they call it is your attack surface. You want to make it so small, so difficult that it won't be worth their time, and they'll move on.
Well, out of curiosity too, so can they get the information from the cloud, or is it just what's on people's computers? Or okay, so if you have a small business and there's one server for all of that, for that business, but then they have stuff stored in the cloud too. Are they going into the server, or are they going into their cloud information?
So there's times where it could happen on both levels, where it can happen on their actual hardware, and then it can happen actually on the cloud. But that's them actually breaching either Microsoft, Google, or Amazon.
And that doesn't happen, or that does happen.
If it does happen, it's probably on a small level where no data has ever been touched. They caught it, or they caught the attempt. Catching attempts are different than actually getting in. So that's the biggest question. Did they get in? And, a lot of people get concerned about cloud. Like, okay, so if all my stuff is on these servers and everybody else's stuff are on these servers, so if they get breached, does that mean I got breached?
Right.
Well, the answer to that question is Microsoft, Amazon, and Google has this all kind of figured out. Everything's separated. Even it's like you own that specific piece of hardware that you have. So only your things are on there, and nothing else is connected.
Wow. Okay, so we're going to do this right this time. So we're going to break. And when we get back, we're going to talk more of IT.
With Brandon Gellis, that's correct. And we got Angela Smarito, and of course, Melissa Jacobs. I am Melissa Fox, and this is BaaD Radio. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Want to give a huge thank you to our sponsor, Bolts Legal. Fear no storm with boltslegal.com, and 33 tanning spas with locations in Altamont Springs and Longwood. And I went and saw Erin yesterday. I'm doing that Vivive stuff. It's like to help with like cellulite and stuff on the back of the legs. And I don't know, pretty happy. Happy.
Does it hurt? What's it feel like? How long does it take? So many questions.
There's like it's like an hour session, and it gets pretty hot. But I mean, I have a high tolerance for.
Same.
Like when we did that body wrap, like I felt like I was suffocating a few times, but that was like my whole body. What was that?
That's somebody getting the 5
Anyway, come summer, I'll be looking good, so I'm happy about that. Anyway, all right, so we're back. He's over there just grinning away. Thank you for being such a good sport today, Brandon.
Absolutely.
So where did you come up with a name?
I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
Does it have anything to do with, because it's Alpha 1. I'm like, are we trying to get to the tops of the lists? Is that what's happening?
Well, there's 3 different reasons why I chose with the name. One, as crazy as it sounds, it came to me in a dream.
Okay.
I love it.
Yep. I didn't know what to call it, and I had a dream for it, and then it made sense. For one, when you think Alpha 1, you're thinking, okay, I'm getting the best of the best here.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I come from a family of veterans. I'm not a veteran, but everybody around me is my veteran. One of my top 3 guys, he's a veteran too as well. So it's about giving back as well to our veterans. And one of the things that I do is, I'm open to having veterans as employees and giving them a chance, helping them when they come back.
So you train? You do some training for them?
Either they already have military training, which is phenomenal that they have, or if they're wanting to get into it, we train them up. And, whether we would like them to stay with us, but if they go off and do better things, more power to them. We owe that to them at least.
No, I think that's fantastic. So it sounds like cybersecurity is like a huge thing. I had a question about social media because I know that in the business that I'm in, I use email a lot, but then I also use things like direct messaging. I meant messaging through Instagram, through Facebook. I use it all the time. Is that a source for people to spread or to get ransomware and stuff through like DMs and whatnot?
Well, with that, that's more of account control. If you've ever had a friend saying, "Hey, I've been hacked. Don't click this link."
Right.
Yep.
This actually falls into a different kind of security measure: your passwords and authentication. Having strong passwords, using things not like your pet's name or your birthday. Something that's a little bit complicated, and don't write it down and don't keep it somewhere on your in a notepad file.
Right.
You can use things like password managers, one of which that you can use that is free is LastPass.
What is that?
LastPass is a encrypted password manager, and it keeps all your passwords safe and linked. And so that way you're not writing them down on a Post-it note.
How secure is Google when it says, "Do you want us to save this password?"
Oh, I'm probably going to get a phone call from Google.
Oh, no.
But I mean, I'm like, please save it so I don't have to remember.
It is secure, but, it's on your browser. So if somebody were to breach into your computer and get into your browser, then they can essentially get that password too as well. Not saying that it's happening, but as always, there's never a guarantee.
Or like the things that say, "Remember this card," and I'm like, when you're paying for something, and I'm like, oh, I don't like this.
But then I do it like, okay, so when I pay your invoice, it remembers my card, but then I have to answer a couple of questions about the card before it will let it go.
All right.
But sometimes your system does a thing to me where it says sending you a passcode right now. Right. So it won't even let me open the invoice until it emails me a code, and then I have to put that code to get to the invoice. And I see that's happening a lot more and more. So it's just like an extra step of verification and that's you.
Yes. And that is something that you really want to have, and that's how Google is able to keep that secure. It's called multi-factor authentication. So what that means is it's usually who you are, what you have, and something else about you.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, there's 2 levels of this. You have authorization. Are you the owner of this account? Are you allowed to see it? And then the authentication. So, in the case of a credit card, you own this credit card,
Right.
but do you know the 3 digits in the back? Do you know the zip code?
Mm-hmm.
And let's send a code to your email.
The expiration date's a big one too. That they always, that they'll always ask, and so they have to have all of that information in
Before.
addition. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, passcodes, I hate them. I do,
Mhm.
because it's like we talked about Hurricane Ian. So my house flooded for Hurricane Ian, and I qualified for an SBA loan. But the process of creating an account on a government agency site was literally one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do. I felt like when I was done, and it was actually, and I mean, even to this day, every time I sign on, they have to send me a new
Authentic.
code.
Yeah.
And what that does is that now supersedes any code that I had before,
Mhm.
and you can only use it in certain. I mean, it's
For a
like,
certain amount of time and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it is so secure to a point that sometimes I just would give up and be
like, I
like,
can't even get
I'm
in
like-
this stupid thing.
no, you go through 7
Yeah.
steps of, okay, we're going to email. Now we're going to text. Now we're going to do this. And I think that at the time I felt like, I'm like, this is just a way to deter people from actually going through the process. So, because it's just too much of a pain.
Right.
And sometimes I'm just like, I just want to pay you. Not you, but you know
I
what I mean?
you
Like,
mean.
like it's like I just want to pay my insurance bill. That's all. I just want to give you money, and it's like such a pain in the butt to do it. So, passwords are not my friend, but
No.
I get it. I do.
But I feel your pain. Have you guys ever had to do those? You sign in, you have to click a picture to see.
Oh,
which
yeah.
one-
Mm-hmm.
Those drive me crazy. Like
Yeah.
doing a crosswalk. It's like, well, there's a piece of the
Yeah.
white there.
Same.
Should I hit that?
Same. I'll sit there forever like, should I click it?
It's like, I'm human, so.
Yeah.
I think that I got one that said click a bike, and I'm like, oh, is that a motorcycle, or are we talking about a bicycle? You're not
Like-
specific enough.
Click the mountains. Well, those kind of look like hills, so I don't know. Yeah, no, I hate those.
So email, but I meant, so do you think that there's a lot of stuff that happens through people utilizing their Facebook instant message or Instagram?
Yes, I mean, in a business sense, there's something called, it's going to sound 007, business espionage.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, say, for instance, we have somebody that gets into somebody's social media account, poses at them. They can post things,
Mm,
and then they can damage reputations because it looks like it's coming from the source.
mm.
So, that's where, again, password security, account security really is vital because reputation is everything.
Well, because you see, for me, like I always saw a fundamental problem with email, and is that when you get an email in, if you respond to that email, so say you get an email in and it says this, this, and this from a client or whatever, and then you forward that email, you can go in there and edit
Oh, yeah.
their stuff from underneath.
Mhm.
Or if somebody's sending it to me, I'm like, how do I know
Mm-hmm.
that that's what they really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but if somebody's doing that in through Facebook or anything like that, you
Mhm.
can't go in. Like, you can like screenshot something and send it, but you can't go in and actually change like what somebody wrote. Because I
Right.
always thought that was like just a super relevant, not relevant, but just a really easy way for people
Mhm.
to send false information.
Mm-hmm.
And with the emails,
Ooh.
Really? Already? Dang. All right. Well, we're
yak and yak.
going to
and
talk about
yak.
emails when we get back, so stay tuned.
It's very interesting, though. Yes, you must stay tuned. You are listening to BaaD Radio. For more networking and ideas and such, and to contact Angela or Melissa. Yes, just go to baadradio.com.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And welcome back. We'd like to thank Andrews Law PA, auto accident attorney. Contact Andrews Law today at andrewslawpa.com. And Crazy Muscle Nutrition in Longwood. And I'm going to actually have to get with them because I believe they move locations. So I'm going to have to get with Zach. So they either move locations or they opened a new location.
Okay.
So if you ever need any like muscle nutrition, stuff like that, I got somebody. I got a guy.
Or things for sleep or all kinds of things.
Yeah. You know, I'm like, I always say, you know, when you know somebody and they're always like, I got a guy. See, I always got a guy.
That's Angela.
Yes. Well, it's me and B&I and networking. So, and then if you need anything, just let me know. Because, you know, then I get referral credit for it and all that other good stuff. All right. So we are already on our last segment. So, you know, Brandon, let's talk about your business. Let's talk about the things that you've been having on your folded up piece of paper here that I really keep asking you about. So what you got for us?
So one of the things that, you know, we do at Alpha One is we, like I said, we take care of everything for you, whether it's the security, whether it's day-to-day operations, whether it's, you know, why is there a spinny circle on my browser? You know, we cater it not just as a broad, but we actually take time to understand your business and your goals. So we will meet with you, and then you tell us what you would need, and then we will consult you on the best ways to achieve those things while being safe, productive, and cost-effective.
Now, do you go to everybody's location and do like on-hands training, or do you do it virtually? Like you get in onto their computer through your computer?
Virtually.
Okay.
Yep. I feel like that's, you know, it's very efficient because not all employees are going to have time, you know, so they can do the training at their leisure, but there is an actual due date that they have to complete it by.
Right.
So what kind of businesses do you work with primarily?
I primarily work with anybody that uses a computer. No, but right now we're exploring different options, but we do real estate, which includes property management, attorneys, pest control businesses, healthcare, and
healthcare's got to be a huge one for security.
It is. Unfortunately, a couple of years ago, there was a Orlando medical facility that got breached, and about 1 million people's medical records, social security cards.
Oh, that's a bad one, a social security.
Oh, yes.
Why do they need to know our social security numbers? I don't put it down most of the time when somebody asks me for it. I'm like, you don't need it.
Credit.
Credit.
I mean, like I said, if I guess if I'm running credit, they'll need it. But I meant sometimes, like you said, on medical stuff, they'll ask your social, and I'm like, nope, you don't need it.
Yep. And then follow-up question: what's the problem or the challenge that you see, like having to help these kinds of businesses, like the most often? So, is the ransomware even with like these sorts of businesses like a common issue, or is there something else that's usually more prevalent?
I would say there's two. One is ransomware, and the second is your customers' data. You know, getting that information is vital for these bad actors. So they're actually wanting to get your customer data rather than your data.
So that they can sell that
Yes.
after? Okay, got it.
Yes.
But I meant, do you also like install programs for people and teach them how to use it? I mean, so what are some of the programs that you specialize in?
So we specialize in Microsoft 365, which is your office suite.
That's the biggest one everybody's using.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We also do Google Workspace as well.
Okay.
Some AWS or Amazon as well. And then any of the non-cloud apps that are specific to your business, whether it's, you know, medical tracking, whether it's things for depositions for lawyers, you know, things of that sort. And then we do what we call being a vendor liaison, as in we're the intermediate between you and whichever vendor you're having. So if you have computers and you have Dell, we will work with Dell, say if you have a problem or a warranty claim.
Okay.
we'll do that for you.
That's really interesting. But would like if I were going to open a I don't know, a dry cleaning business and I needed a system, could I come to you and you could suggest like what would be the best system for that business?
When it comes to something specific in that sort, we can give you a broad range of what you could use, but we're not going to be that intimate in it. We can let you know, what you need to run that software, what security you need to be in place, what kind of internet speeds you need.
But not like point of sale type of stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, but would you work with those types of businesses to make sure that, like I said, the information goes from the register to the computer?
Yes. So funny story, like say restaurants and retail, we do that. Funny story. Yesterday, I was at Bass Pro Shops with my son.
The one over on iDrive area?
Yes. And they were doing pictures of the Easter Bunny. Well, funny enough, turns out when it was my turn to get my photos printed, the computer froze.
That always happens to me.
So, me being there, they're like, oh no, what do we do? Do we lose all the photos we just took? And it's like, well, you're lucky.
You're like, hold my beer.
Yep. Some heroes don't wear capes.
Yeah.
So, I helped. It was a program that I've never worked with before, but essentially, the functionality is the same.
So were you able to fix it for them?
I was able to fix it, and they were up and running by the time that the store manager came up. Just like, okay, what's the problem? He fixed it.
Did you send him an invoice?
I was going to say, did you get at least free pictures out of it?
Oh, I did a shameless advertising for him.
Plug.
Yep.
You plugged it?
Oh,
I would
yes.
have been like, yeah, either I get this for free or you're getting an invoice.
Yeah.
Or store credit. Any of that stuff works for me.
Give me store credit. I
A
love
fishing
that.
pole or something.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Hey.
So what do you see? Where do you want to go? Are you looking to grow bigger, or you like the size that you're at right now?
Well, I have some lofty goals. I want to become nationwide. And what sets us apart from any other IT is the relationship you have with us. We really care about our partners, just like our headline. We empower our partners to succeed. And that means that we care about your success. It's not just your ticket number or hey, we should get another one of you guys. No, we want to see you guys excel. And I'm really changing the game. I'm really changing up the atmosphere of IT, because we all have had that IT guy that has that dry sense of humor or dry personality. No, we're here with you. So even though you're outsourcing to us, it's going to feel like we're in-house.
Okay. That's a wonderful direction to have. So nationwide, huh? That is driven.
Yes, and we're already partway there. We have some clients in New Jersey, New York, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to start hitting the West Coast.
And how big is your team right now?
My team is a team of 3.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
But that 3 goes a long way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where the oh, wow was.
Yeah. So, what have you done to grow so far? Through just networking, word of mouth?
Networking, word of mouth. Word of mouth, and putting our money where our mouth is. Actually showing what we're capable of. One of the things that we offer is a free IT assessment of your business, and we give you something that shows you A to Z where you stand.
That's free.
That's free. You can either use it and give it to your IT guy, or you can use it with us. At the end of the day, small businesses are our lifeblood.
No, that's fantastic. We'll give everybody your contact information, like all of it. We've got time for you to spill it all.
Sure. If you want to contact us, you can call us at 877-607-5782. You can visit us at alpha1support.us.
Is that one spelt with a O or one?
The
number
is it
one?
numeric or?
Yeah.
No, it's spelled out.
Okay. That's a big one. When advertising,
that
it's
is a
always you
big
got to
one.
tell them how it is, because people think it's fun to do. Like, it's 4242, and you're like, is it FOUR?
What is it?
Yeah. All right.
And then to email me, you can email Brandon at alpha1support.us. You will get me, the founder, and we can talk.
All right. And you can also contact me, and I will put you in touch with Brandon. So how about you, Melissa? Like I said, I made sure that we have time today, so we're not going to get in trouble.
Take it nice and slow. Hey, never mind. You can find me on strikingbrand.com or Striking Brand on all social media platforms.
And I am Angela Smarito, and you can get all the information that you need about BaaD Radio on baadradio.com, or reach me at angela@baadradio.com as well. And that's BAAD. Thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful week.
See ya.